Okay, hi friends. Happy Tuesday. This is the second Tuesday of February. We are moving and grooving into 2024, and I'm here for it. I'm especially excited for February because we're doing our Leap to Lead program. It's something Bree and I do once a year or so, and usually outside of a big group program. Usually we kind of, collect our people and put them in a group and work alongside them tucked away in this group, but we decided let's share this information to the masses. We don't want to gatekeep this information. This is really helpful information. And so we hope that you guys are following along and enjoying it. There's no homework, okay? So it's on you as the business owner to take the things you're learning and apply them to your business, okay? So last week we really got down into what it means to be a lead consultant. Why would we want to be a lead consultant? What is the purpose of this program? And what are the building blocks? What are the foundational pieces of becoming a leader with Scentsy, right? And so last week we talked a lot about your own business, right? We talked about how being a leader in Scentsy is very, very fruitful and it's amazing, but without your personal business solid, that you are kind of building on sand, okay? And so it's important to build a solid business with good customer service and consistency and systems and ways that you work in your business. And so that was last week. Okay. And then today for week two, we're kind of diving straight into what it means to sponsor. Okay. Because if you are working your way up to a lead consultant, or if you are a lead consultant, then you know that you have people on your team now. Okay. And that is awesome. That means you have crushed your goal to add someone to your team. Maybe you have a few people on your team, and that's amazing. Okay. People joining your business is such an amazing accomplishment, absolutely worth your celebrations. And that means that you are doing some things right in your business. So that is a moment where you just stop and you pause and you celebrate that accomplishment. Okay. I am really big about celebrating the small things. So, like this morning, I wasn't feeling so great. I hop on and check my email and I got a website order. And man, that is worth celebrating right there in that moment. Yes, I'm so happy I got this order, right? So definitely taking the time to celebrate those things in your business will keep you excited for the long run, okay? And having someone join your team is absolutely worth celebrating. So first of all, celebrate that, okay? Be excited, be proud of yourself. That's awesome, okay? We sponsor because we love Scentsy, right? And we're trying to grow our business. Okay, it gives us a purpose in our business as a leader. Okay, it's a really sweet season that you're stepping into when you have your team, when you start building your team and working your way up the compensation plan, start aiming for those goals. Okay. Having people join your team is going to help you promote, right? That's the goal, is to promote to a leadership role. So you are earning bonuses off of your team. Bree went over the compensation plan a little bit last week, where we talked about once you hit lead consultant, not only are you making bonuses on your own sales, you're making a sales bonus on the stuff you're selling, but also you start earning leadership bonuses across everyone on your team, which is really awesome. So know that having people join your team, absolutely worth celebrating, means you're doing things right. Also, helping you reach your next title goal, your next promotion. And with promotions come bigger paychecks. Okay. Promoting up the compensation plan, building your business with Scentsy is a really great way to see your paychecks double, triple, quadruple, and multiply on itself times 10, 15, or 20. Okay. Or more. The income potential is limitless. There's no cap at how much money you can earn. People absolutely earn six figures, high six figures in their Scentsy business. And I promise you, they're not doing that on sales alone. They're doing that by sponsoring and consistently building. Okay. So I just want you guys to recognize why we are sponsoring in our business, right? We want to grow our team because we are in our Scentsy business. Okay. We don't want to just grow our team because our upline says that, oh, you should consider building your team. Okay. You want to build your team because you are in your business, you are working your business, and you want to build your business. Okay. Because having someone join your team is a big deal, and they're relying on you to be their mentor and to guide them into their first steps to help them launch their business. Okay. And so you want to be intentional about why you're deciding to sponsor people. Okay. And so with that happening, you're going to get bigger paychecks. You're going to promote, and you're going to really hone in on the purpose of your leadership with Scentsy. Okay. And so doing that means you've got a business that you are working. Okay. That you have goals and you are being intentional and you are focusing. And that is an asset to your business and for the people who join. Okay. And I think that this is a really great reminder that people do business and join teams with people they know, they like, and they trust. And if you've heard me train before, you've heard this. Okay. I think it is so important that we remember that people are giving us money for products, right? People are trusting us with their phone numbers, their addresses, their email addresses. That's a big deal. Okay. So that trust factor is very important. And for people to trust you, they have to get to know you and they have to get to like you. Okay. And they do that many different ways. There's many, many, many ways to form value for your audience. Okay. And that's what this is. When people know you, like you, trust you, they want to do business with you, it's because you are providing them value. And they like it and they're enjoying it. And so it's the same thing with building your team. People are going to do Scentsy with you, join your team when they know you, they like you, and they trust you. Okay. And again, if we go back to last week, it's really just having the foundational parts of your business in check. Okay. Where you're showing up, you're learning, you're doing the things that you learn. Okay. And you're trustworthy. So I think that that's super important to remember. And I've broken this down into 3 ways that you can build that know, like, and trust factor when it comes to sponsoring new teammates. Okay. And in this, I'm hoping to give you some tangible ideas as well. Okay. So I broke this down into 3 different topics: relationship, knowledge, and conversations. Okay. When you are trying to grow your team, you need to focus on relationships, knowledge, and conversations. So let's dive right into the relationships part. I feel like Bree and I talk about this a lot. I feel like a lot of us really understand, and this is good, right? This means, since a lot of you guys really understand, this means that this is easy for you guys to step into. But I think that a lot of you guys really understand that being consistent, having fun, providing great customer service, right? Having either your business page or your VIP group or sharing on your social media in a consistent way is a really beautiful way to strengthen those relationships. And when you are strengthening those relationships, people are learning to trust you. People are getting to know you. People are starting to envision what their life would look like based off the things that you're showing them. Okay. So when you talk about how making samples is such a fun way to hang out with your babies because they're helping you, the people, your audience, are starting to envision that. Okay. You're showing them how you work. And that's why I'm a huge advocate for sharing behind the scenes stuff with your audience as well, right? We can share beautiful Scentsy products all day, every day, but show them how you're making samples, show them delivering some orders, show them at your friend's launch party, right? Show them your testers that you got in your starter kit, show them some behind the scenes stuff so they can start envisioning what it's like to be a Scentsy consultant. They can start seeing, oh, that's how she makes samples. Oh, that's what she does in all of her free time. She's working on mailing. She's printing out a newsletter, right? Show them the Scentsy life, build those relationships, and do that by being consistent. If there's anything that you could give your teammate and your customers as a consistent you, that is the gift. Okay. So I think relationships is huge. And with that is great customer service. So place orders when you say that you're going to do that. Show up when you say you're going to show up, be available to answer. And I don't mean all the time, definitely have boundaries there, but make sure that you are available for them to ask questions and chat with them. Okay. So that's number 1. Relationships is super important when it comes to sponsoring people. Okay. And let me back up just a little bit because I want to distinguish your role, right? When you sponsor someone, it's very easy to just like do the work and get someone to join. Okay. That's recruiting. Okay. Recruiting is getting them to hit the join button. Sponsoring them is supporting them along the way. Okay. So I want you guys to when you think about building your team, hitting promotions, working your way up the compensation plan, I don't want you guys to think as recruiters. I want you guys to think as sponsors, someone who is going to link arms and walk alongside them. Okay. That is, I think, a huge difference in consultants who are successful at building a business and who are not, is people who are not, or they fall flat, or they can't keep up the momentum, is because they are too focused on recruiting and not so much sponsoring, where you are actually working alongside them. You are being their sponsor. Okay. This isn't just a, we just want them to click the button. This is, we want them to click the button and then I want to help them get going. And so I think that's the difference between recruiting and sponsoring. So I want you guys to know that all of these things that I'm talking about is to sponsor well, okay? To have them join and then support them when they join, okay? And so relationships is going to be huge for that. Okay. The next thing that I really recommend for you guys, especially if you are not a leader yet or you're a new leader, and really even seasoned leaders need to be doing this on a very consistent basis and also training your team to do it as well. But that is to stay knowledgeable. Okay. Stay learning. There is so much information out there. As Scentsy consultants, we have access to anything our heart desires. All we have to do is search it. Okay. So stay learning, hop in the training center, get on YouTube, search keywords on the team page so you can learn. Okay. But mostly, especially talking about sponsoring, you want to be knowledgeable about things that your new consultants are going to have questions over. Okay. So you want to make sure that you know what the first things first checklist looks like, that you have visited the training center so you can encourage them to click around the training center. You want to encourage them to hit those new consultant goals, the shooting star in the first 15 days, certified as soon as possible, sensational start levels 1, 2, and 3. When you are knowledgeable about that, you can then help your new teammates reach those goals. You can then help your new teammates by coaching them to finding this information, reading this information, and being knowledgeable as well. Okay. So it's like a full circle thing. When you're doing it, they're doing it too, right? We don't want to be telling our teammates to do things that we're not doing or we haven't done. Okay. So we want to lead by example. And so that means that we want to be forming relationships with our customers. We want to be consistent. We want to be knowledgeable. And in turn, then we're teaching our teammates to build relationships, be consistent, be knowledgeable. Okay. So make sure that you are training yourself, that you are curious and finding these answers to things and learning along the way, because there's always going to be things that we can learn. Okay. Also super important to know about host kits and party flipping. Okay. There's trainings about it on the training center. So if you're not sure how you can have a customer host a party and join with that party, or how you can get someone to join for $59 instead of the $99 kit, these are things that you have to learn on and train yourself on, and then try to implement, right? You must do something with the action that you're with the things that you're learning. So I really want to encourage you guys to step into things that you don't know, right? I said earlier that we are really good at building relationships. We know how important that is, but probably a lot of us don't know about host kits and party flipping and the new consultant goals right off the bat and other things like that. And so that is an area where you can say, hey, I need to go learn more about this stuff so I can create confidence in my new consultant. Okay. And now this is a side note. I was talking to Bree about this last week, and I've been even talking to Scentsy Home Office about this because I feel so passionately about this, is that our ordering system can be complicated, right? There's orders from the website, the workstation, individual orders under a party, free shipping at $350, but only if they're all in the party. And you know, there's local warehouse pickup. There's all these ways to order, okay? And if we are not coaching and helping our new consultant understand the different ways that they can collect orders, they never get off to a good start because they're never confident enough to go collect orders. Right? If you never help your new consultant understand how our order system works, they never gain the confidence enough to go share Scentsy. So to me, that is my number one goal, is helping my new consultant within the first 48 hours know how they can collect orders. Okay. It's that knowledge piece. When you have the knowledge, you have the confidence to go and do. And so I really recommend learning as much as you can, both to build your business, but also to make sure that you have the supports needed to assist your new consultants as well. Okay. And you're walking alongside your new consultants very closely with a lot of check-ins, at least for their first 70 days as they're hitting their sensational start. Okay. They get a few months under their belt. They get a few transitions under your belt, and then you're still there for them, but you're then at that point, hopefully launching some other new consultants. Okay. So again, it's a song and dance of like wanting to be knowledgeable for your own personal business so you can have awesome parties and so you can do new things, but then also wanting to be knowledgeable for your teammates who you're sponsoring and guiding along the way. So I think that's super important. One resource that I really, really love is actually our join page on our website. So if you go to your Scentsy website and you click the join tab and you just scroll, first of all, read that stuff. Okay. That's what your people are seeing when they go to join. They're going to that website. They're getting to flip through what comes in the kit. They're getting to click on all the links and see what's available. So make sure that you are doing that so you know what they're seeing. And with that, there's like a frequently asked questions section. So go through there, look at the different questions, read the answers, click the links that the external links that it takes you to, and make sure that you are an informed consultant. Knowledge is power. And so that is a tip for me. A tip for you guys that I think will help you get the confidence that you need to then go and build your team. Okay. And then my last part of this trio is conversations. Okay. So last week we talked about how you should have a follow-up system, and you absolutely should. I hope that over this last week, if you do not have a surefire follow-up system, that is something that you really looked into and started. Okay. But product follow-ups are not the only conversations that we should be having. Okay. If we are actively trying to build our business, promote up the compensation plan, get bigger paychecks, strengthen our purpose for being a Scentsy consultant, we have to be having join conversations. Okay. And so this is where we are one-on-one, not in a Facebook post. Okay. One-on-one, we are mentioning to someone or multiple people that they would be a great consultant, or asking them if they have ever considered being a Scentsy consultant. Okay. And so I think that having conversations like that, having joint conversations is something that gets easier and more fine-tuned as you do it. Practice makes progress. And so knowing when or how to ask, or when to follow up on these conversations is going to be a learning curve, right? That's going to be something that you have to figure out, what fits right into your business. But nonetheless, having those conversations is so important. So I totally recommend creating a join list, people that you have had join conversations with, or that you want on your team that you think would be great at Scentsy, to make a list. Okay. They call these, dream team lists, or your list of 100. Okay. Write down the names of everyone that you think would be great or that you have had a conversation with. Okay. And this tangible list makes it very eye-opening to see how many people are in your business that could be on your team. And I found a list, maybe 2 years ago. I found a list of 100 from when I first joined within my first year of doing Scentsy. And I didn't create a list all in one sitting. It was like a running list. So I'd make a list and then I would be adding on to it as time went. So it was like about a year's worth of accumulation. And about 2 years ago, when I looked at it again, I went and took a highlighter and I highlighted everyone that had joined my team since then. Meanwhile, it's been 6 years later since I'm looking at this list, and over 30 people had joined my team. Okay. So I want you guys to know that it's not always right when you have the conversation that they're joining. Sometimes it's not even a year later, or 2 or 3 or 4. Sometimes it's many years later, but that is the gift of consistency. Okay. The gift of still being around 6 years later to have someone join my team that I mentioned it to long ago, that is a gift, okay? And the reason that they're joining my team 6 years later is because I was consistent, and it's because I did occasionally follow up with them, okay? Now, we don't want to annoy people who are on our list. We don't want to, say you have 3 people on your list. Our goal is not to circle back to these 3 people multiple times on, "Hey, did you think about it yet? Did you think about it anymore? Hey, what did you think?" Okay? We don't wanna scare people away, okay? Especially if people, are not, like, actively ordering, okay? And so that's where I say it takes some time to establish, like, when am I gonna follow up with these people? How do I follow up, right? But we do follow up on joint conversations. It just really looks, different and situational, right? It is not a one size fits all for sponsoring, okay? Because we don't all join for the same reason. We don't all stick around for the same reason. And so this is where we can't be robots. We have to be humans. We have to connect. We have to use those relationships that we formed to then know when to follow up, okay? I'll say if it is a customer of yours and they are still purchasing Scentsy with you all the time, then that conversation could and should probably happen more often than someone who bought one time, you mentioned joining, and then they haven't purchased in a year, okay? That doesn't mean that we never follow up with them, but it looks different. It looks different following up with someone who purchases with you every single month and then someone who hasn't purchased with you for a year, okay? But nonetheless, writing their names down and following up with them is so important, okay? In addition to that, I think verbiage is everything. I think sometimes I kind of troubleshoot with some of my team where they're wanting to build a team or they're wanting to get sales, but it's just not happening for them. And so sometimes I'll say, well, let me see, screenshot like 3 conversations. Let me see like what it is you're saying to these people because it simply could just be changing up how you're asking, changing up what you're offering. Okay. And so, and again, practice makes progress and you're going to get better as you go. But sometimes verbiage can make a big difference. So if you are one who it's like, I'm having tons of joint conversations, I'm talking to a lot of people, I'm asking a lot of people, but you're not getting much from it, ask your sponsor, your Scentsy bestie, your upline to take a look at your verbiage and be open to trying to express it in a different way because sometimes just little changes like that can make a big deal. Okay. Um, and then I also wanted to say that when you are having conversations, when you are asking someone to join your team, oftentimes you're looking at 2 sets of people. You are looking at people new to you or Scentsy, so like new customers or new network or new audience. And then you're looking at your VIP customers who are purchasing or your party hosts who are like actively engaged in Scentsy. Okay. And so you do have 2 different audiences, and I'm sure there's ones in the middle, but 2 main audiences, that you still might want on your team, right? You certainly want your VIP customers on your team because they use the products, they love the products, they know the products, they know you, they like you, they trust you. And so those conversations are fun, they're upbeat, they are maybe a little bit goofy, right? And they can happen more often. And then new customers, for me, I like to go for the kill right away, okay? When I get a new customer, I simply just ask something like, "Have you ever thought about doing this?" Right? Or I tell them because a lot of times people don't know that we're team building. And so I'll say something like, I'm always looking to help other people start their own Scentsy business. If that's something you or anyone you know would be interested. I know we just met. I just like to put that out there in case you'd be interested because it's been such a fun time for me or something like that, right? So don't feel like you can't invite new customers to join. I've actually had really great success with new people that I've met joining my team. Um, and again, I think it's because they can see that I'm consistent and that I am trustworthy and that I've stuck around this business. And so again, it's that value and the credibility. Okay. And so I just want to encourage you guys to be having conversations with like both demographics of people. Okay. Don't feel like you can only have these conversations with people who are your VIP customers. Now, what we don't do is we don't cold message people. Okay. Unfortunately, for direct sales have gotten a terrible rep, because of people cold messaging people, like you haven't been to you haven't known since high school, but they're on their friends list, and then you message them like, "Hey, do you want to join my Scentsy team?" No, okay, we don't do that. There's no need to do that. Scentsy is a lifestyle brand, so it's just very important that you are doing, living the Scentsy life, sharing the Scentsy life, okay, and just know that people will, um, organically be attracted to that. There's no need for us to cold message people that we haven't talked to in years, okay? Now if it's someone who has not bought Scentsy from you, but they are in your life, like they know your kiddos or commenting on your kiddos, or you guys talk otherwise, absolutely, right? That's still a natural organic conversation. But someone who you'd never talk to, you don't need to slide into their DMs talking about Scentsy, okay? Focus on building those relationships, okay? And if you are struggling with knowing enough people to have those conversations with, then you're like going back to week 1 and you're looking at like, what do I need to do to build my network? Okay. And again, it's like the song and dance. So I say go back to week 1, but I don't mean stay there. I just mean that you got to kind of pop back into your personal business and figure out how you're going to grow your personal business to then be able to pop over here to the sponsoring side of things and sponsor well. Okay. It's the song and dance of doing both. Okay. Um, yeah. So Mandy posted an example of when someone slid into her DMs. It's just, it can be icky, especially if you have no conversation with them, right? People don't like to be sold to. So certainly if you have no conversation with them, don't slide into their DM talking about Scentsy. Okay. Let it be an organic thing that builds over time. If you really think that that person would be a great, person on your team, backtrack a little bit and start engaging with them otherwise. Okay. Start, commenting on their stuff, asking them questions that involve them and themselves, right? And do this from a place of like genuine interest and not yourself. Okay. We have to recognize that yes, we're trying to build a business, we're trying to promote, we're trying to increase our sales, we're trying to do all this stuff, but we're still humans. It's still very important that we are building connections, that we are building relationships, that we have arrows out. When we are focusing on other people, you have to just trust that it's going to come back to you in a really great way. Okay. So try to not be selfish, right? Try to like think of other people. While you're intentionally working your business. And I promise you, it works out so much better for you that way. Okay. Final things. I just have a few tips for you guys. And a few of them I think I said, so I might skim over these. So you get better through action. So do and do often. Okay. Oftentimes people wait and wait and wait until they have it all figured out. They watch video after video after video after video to then just possibly go buy the things for it. And then they have to buy everything and set everything up and blah, 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 blah. And then they never do. They never get to the action part. Okay. I would much prefer you just do it and then kind of figure it out as you go. That's where you're going to get the most experience. That's where you're going to learn to adjust. That's where the whole piece comes together is when you start doing. So I really want to encourage you guys, if you feel like you struggle with analysis paralysis, there is help for you. Okay. You just have to intentionally focus on the doing part. Okay. My next tip for you guys, and I feel like Brie and I have been talking about this so much. And it's because we want this year to be the year that we start partying again. Okay. But parties are a great way for all of this to happen. Okay. It puts you in front of people, new people. It gets people seeing the Scentsy life. It gets people front row seat to getting to know you, like you, trust you. Okay. You get to talk about things that Scentsy has done for you. They get to see it with their own eyes. It's easy for your host to join with parties. You have the host kit, right? There's so many benefits to team building with parties. I know Chantel's on here. She is a rock star recruiter, and I know that a lot of it happens because she's partying like crazy. Okay. So parties are a really amazing way to grow your team because you're host is seeing for themselves how much their friends and family love it. They're seeing for themselves how much they're ordering. They're seeing for themselves the array of products. They're seeing for themselves how good of a consultant you are. So partying is a really great way to share the Scentsy opportunity, not only for the host, but for everyone attending the party. Okay. My last tip for you guys is to go for the no. Okay. When you are asking, I think you'll actually find that not many people say no. They might give you reasons why they can't. They might say not right now. They might say, oh, if something changes, I'll let you know. But oftentimes when I ask people, have you ever thought about doing what I do? They have thought about it, and so they tell me why they thought about it. So go for the no. I I would love it if someone told me no, because you know what? That's one more person that said it, and I'm moving on to the next, and I'm collecting my no's like a badge of honor. Okay, it gives me great practice. It helps me excuse bust because a lot of times I'll say, "Have you?" Thank you, Mandy, for the 3 years of no, and look at you now. So I'll lead by saying, "Have you ever thought about doing what I do? I think that you would totally love it so much. We have a lot of fun." And they say, yeah, I have thought about it. I'm just like so busy with my job. I just don't know when I would be able to do it. And I'm like, yeah, I totally get that. You are seriously superwoman. Like you've got a lot on your plate. Like I totally understand. But one thing I do love about Scentsy is you can work it in 15 minutes here and there throughout the day. I have a ton of people on my team who literally just work it an hour or two a week and they love it and they do just fine. Right? And so I'm able to excuse bust without telling them, "Oh, that's a stupid excuse." Okay, like I related to that. I complimented that. I said I understand. So it's like if she doesn't want to, like she knows that I understand, but I also gave a solution. Okay. So like I like to think I'm a very solution driven person. So it's like I'm going to hear you out and sympathize with you, but then I'm also going to give you a solution in case you're wanting one. Right, in case you're knowing that like I will help you through it. And so asking those questions gives you an opportunity to practice busting those excuses. And it doesn't mean that they'll join right now, but you're going to write their name on your list. Yeah, you're going to write their name on your list and then you're going to follow up with them later. Maybe when you have a host kit or we have an awesome join promo or they're giving you another order, right? You can say, yeah, Susan, I'll totally grab this order for you, but I still think that you would be an amazing consultant, right? You can bring it up like that. And that's a follow up. It doesn't have to be this big, drawn out conversation. It can just simply be like, hey, I remember we talked about this, right? And so go for the no and work on busting those excuses because there's a lot of things that people are apprehensive about. But what you'll find in that is that they are thinking about it and that they have thought about it. Okay. So that's it for the tips for you guys on sponsoring. Next week, you guys, I'm so excited for next week. We are going to be talking about systems in your business and ways that you can utilize these systems to really grow on a personal business and on a leadership side. It's going to be really good.